how do we start getting into spoilers?
Okay. Maybe I'll talk about that thing that I saw.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the film, there's a bit where she's looking and she sees that white deer.
Oh yeah.
There's the white deer and like that's when
The
she started to
twins.
realize that like DNA is sort of combining
Yeah.
like animal and plant, and it was like a white deer with plant
Yeah.
antlers.
Flowers.
Yeah, there's like a horse in friggin' Zelda, which is that.
Yeah.
got,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
antlers.
yeah.
Which one? Is that Twilight Princess?
The Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
The Lord of the Mountain.
Lord of the Mountain.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just reminded me of that, and that thing just looked. I wish she could have gone closer to that thing.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to see the creature design on that.
Yeah.
Well, that was really good because it encapsulated a lot of the movie because it was like kind of gross as hell at the same time. Like one of them looked like cancerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still this beautiful creature with the flowers and shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, what did you guys, in terms of like, what was he trying to say in this film? What was your interpretation of, some of the major themes?
So there was a lot of cancer stuff. Cancer got name checked a lot, and what this entity or being or whatever was doing was very similar to what cancer does to a body. Like
It attacks the
hits
body.
Earth and then just starts producing, and it goes out of control and just starts mutating stuff. So I think that's like just a major component of this film.
Yeah, no, look, I feel that as well.
I mean, it's interesting. I didn't really pick up on that as much.
Well, yeah, because
one of her first scenes is her explaining cancer to her class. Yeah,
she's like a biologist, but I think her thing was on DNA.
Cell, yeah.
Cells.
Cell reproduction, yeah.
And then the psychologist has cancer.
Yeah. Yes.
And one of the women, her child died. From leukemia. Did she say? Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even really think about that much.
Yeah. So it is that whole like change is good, but bad at the
destructive,
same. Yeah. So funny. I did change for year 12 English. But yeah, no, I very much got that was the message. Change is good, but destructive.
And I think one thing that I got is sort of, is nature evil? Is these horrific animals and beasts and mutations, but an inherent beauty and an inherent just an order of life and a new day.
I got that like nature is primal.
And they're monsters, but they're just doing their thing.
And I feel like maybe everything in there was becoming more primal and back to sort of almost Stone Agey.
Yeah.
It was like life was starting again in the Shimmer, like from scratch, like when Earth Big Bang type thing.
Yeah.
But just on a more literal note, the creatures themselves, a fucking albino shark crocodile.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then the big one, the bear.
The bear that absorbed
the screaming
blood.
skull bear.
Yeah, that was
amazing.
Crazy.
Amazing sound design.
Yeah, that it was using its previous food as way to ensnare its prey.
So creepy. The sound of the scream just
and the
chilling.
tongue, the human tongue.
Yeah.
It reminded me a bit like the Predator when the Predator goes.
Yeah.
Some of the things reminded me of like John Carpenter's The Thing, like very much so. Monsters, just mutating and horrible and just looks completely unsustainable as a being.
Yeah, and that just spiraling out of control mutation.
Yeah,
like that bit where the psychologist walks off towards the the aquarium or the pool or whatever it is.
Body.
I straight away in my head was like, oh, she's found the body or something. And then, I don't know. I wish we could have seen more close up of the body. Maybe it was my copy.
I want a mural of it. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, maybe it was
horrific.
my TV or something. But like, I don't know. I wanted like a more of an up close shot of the entire body.
I didn't get that so much, but that image is so just in my mind.
Yeah.
Like the
skull
sort of
broken
spores,
in two.
the spores of it coming out, the different colors.
Looks like something by Gunther von Hagen's, the guy who like dissects humans and displays them in really inventive ways like that. Like the way that the head was coming apart in pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Amazing.
And amazing. I loved how it was in that pool area. I just thought that was so just an interesting set. It's a really interesting set. So
I guess that's where the characters started to go.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that vibe that was
Crazy.
kind of throughout the whole movie, just like from the second they get there and they've lost 3 days already, and they're just kind of wandering around, like there's just no sense that anything's going to be fine. They're not going to get any answers. You're just like, this is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
They're just, the world is disintegrating around them, but producing as well. It's just like, it's terrifying.
I thought as the movie was happening, they got into the Shimmer a little bit earlier than I sort of anticipated, and they went in, and then Natalie Portman, it sort of cuts to her waking up in the tent, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is really starting to sort of kick into gear. She comes out and they're sort of like figuring out they've eaten a bunch of food.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy crap. Okay, the rules are changing.
I love that. Like
this-
they catch on as you catch on. Like,
Yeah.
like you're like, oh, we've just skipped a bit. And then like, oh, we've just skipped a bit. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck.
And that's exactly going back to what you said, Billy, which was like you're with them on this adventure.
You're absorbed into it. Jennifer Jason Leigh, though, like she was great. But I don't know, there's something about her.
She's so 90s. I just see
She
the
plays
90s.
a lot of characters that I hate.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
you,
yeah.
I don't know, they're the character you're meant to dislike in
Yeah.
the film.
Yeah.
Definitely feels a bit unhinged.
Like she
which
was
works.
in Tarantino's film,
The Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a menace in that.
Yeah. And like but then you slowly realize, like I didn't even get it until the end that like she had cancer. I didn't even guess that.
Yeah. What okay, so they sort of going along that bear component is a big component of the film, and that's where they sort of figure out the refraction element of
Gina Rodriguez gets fucked up.
Wow.
This movie is gory.
Yeah.
Oh man. She went nuts.
Yeah.
She went like, I'm trying to think of the army film where they go nuts. There's so many of them.
Yeah. Most
They
of
just
them.
psychologically break
yeah,
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Full Metal Jacket.
the final scenes, the
Of
on
each
the
character
beach,
or
on the
on
beach
Okay.
with the lighthouse, the glass,
So
the glass trees, and
she gets there alone. It's kind of her journey at this point.
yep.
And then we just get this whole like 20-minute sequence that's like quite esoteric and trippy and awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of elements of like Under the Skin or something.
A lot of people have a lot of the reviews that I
Yeah.
read and watched mentioned that and referenced that, especially
like
with the
you're
sound design as well,
Yeah,
the
and-
crunchy synths.
Yeah, and you're kind of just watching this thing. You feel really like an observer of something you don't quite understand,
Yeah.
and maybe never will.
Is Under the Skin the?
Scarlett
Scarlett
Johansson
Johansson.
Yeah,
one.
that's
Yeah,
that
I need to
one,
watch that.
Amazing.
good.
That's
Is
up
that on
there.
Netflix?
That's up there with Ex Machina for me.
I need to watch it. I might watch that this afternoon.
I was very much like when I saw that film. What the fuck did I watch?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
But how did you guys interpret that whole final sequence? Because I feel like that was a very much the whole time I was watching this film, I was like, how are they going to wrap this up? How are they going to wrap this up? Like, I hope this isn't one of those that tries to do a neat little bow, and I hope it keeps it more ambiguous.
Turns
and-
into an action movie. at the
Yeah,
end or something.
which I thought, given that I knew there was a trilogy, I thought, okay, how are they going to wrap it up so they can do the second and third film? I didn't even know that he'd come out and said,
this is
if
it.
I'd known that, I'd be like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
they're going to wrap this
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
I love the video of Oscar Isaac
Oh,
when he's talking, but he's got like a slightly different accent.
yes.
And then
It looked like almost a Midwest
rev-
accent or something.
yeah. But you hear him when he's like, "You have to go find her. I will." Like that's clearly all Oscar Isaac talking, and then another Oscar Isaac walks in,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Fuck!"
I
Yeah.
didn't even pick up that the person filming him was Oscar
Yeah,
Isaac as
yeah.
well. And when I saw that, I was like, fuck.
And as soon as you see him like sitting there in the video, you've already seen his like crispy corpse in the same spot, and it's like, shit,
Yeah, who
this
is
dude is
that?
gonna fucking immolate himself.
Yeah.
And then of course, you've had Oscar Isaac throughout the whole film already, and he's a very sickly man and
Yeah.
confused, and I love that it didn't just turn into this moment of like, ooh, twist, he's the evil alien. It was just like he's this being, he doesn't even know what he is probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
He's half
This is
really-
new
alien,
form.
half human.
Yeah, and then we get my favorite thing in movies where they drop the name of the movie in the movie.
Yeah.
When she's just like Annihilation, and then she
Yeah.
explodes, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
My God, they do some really
Amazing.
cool stuff with that effect. And then Natalie Portman starts going through the same process as Oscar Isaac did.
But she survives. Like, she
Yeah,
doesn't kill herself.
yeah. I love that. it's just kind of wordlessly done, her interacting with this being. And you really get the sense that, it's not hostile. She's being hostile. She kind of fires first, and it's mirroring her actions and her intentions completely. And then as soon as she kind of chills out a bit, it chills out too. There's a lot to unpack on that scene.
It even goes back to what was said earlier in the film from Tessa Thompson, like about 20 minutes earlier, that like you want to destroy it.
Yeah.
I want to do nothing.
Yeah, because she's at peace with the Shimmer. She just goes off and becomes a plant person, it seems, which is really cool.
Because my partner watched it with me. Do you think she cut herself and put plants there, or did you think it just started growing?
I think it started growing.
You saw them growing as she was walking off, so I think that must have been it, yeah.
Yeah, because we got the sense that like they started growing out of her cuts. Because it's like in the film she was cutting herself.
Yeah. It's that the DNA aspect. It's the randomization. Anything could potentially happen. And it was the duality aspect thing as well. It's very interesting. A lot of the time you saw the cell divide into two, and Natalie Portman's facing off with a double of herself. This the duality aspect. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what he was trying to say with that.
Well, and the whole DNA thing, it affects everyone differently in the Shimmer.
Yeah.
Like Tessa Thompson became a plant person.
Yeah. I love just the image and the idea of plants that have like the human code in them, so they just sort of grow into humans.
Yeah.
That is such an amazing idea. I love that.
So many original ideas in this. I felt like there was one point I was watching this film and I was like, fuck, man, this is kind of what I wanted Prometheus to always to be.
Wow, yeah.
Prometheus attempted to do the DNA, sort of fucking with the DNA kind of thing, with diminishing returns, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think this one just blew it out of the park. I mean, and then that final scene, with Oscar Isaac. And,
so what do you reckon that was about?
You're not Kane.
Yeah,
Who are you?
At that point for me, it just confirmed, it wasn't Natalie Portman's story. It was a conceptual, thematic piece.
Oh, yeah.
And well,
there was a thesis.
What is almost the last shot of the movie is the shot of, you see sort of like the Shimmer just on a black screen, and then it just spreads, and it's like, that's Annihilation. This feels like the end of the world, but the start of a new world as well.
Yeah.
Which was a really cool way. I love when something in the credits kind of gives you a hint as to what's going on.
I do pretty much assume that like she's become half human,
she
half
gets
alien.
Funny little glowy eyes at the end.
Yeah. Shimmer in her eyes.
Ooh,
Hey.
yeah.
Who scored this? Ben Salisbury and Jeff Barrow. I think they did a really great job. There was this acoustic guitar piece that was it just hit these two notes over and over and over, and it just it really added to the atmosphere.
It would not have been like my first thought to how to score this movie. It felt quite out of the box and really added to the atmosphere in interesting ways.
Well, he worked on Ex Machina.
Okay.
Of course.
But that was Ben Salisbury. And Jeff Barrow worked on Ex Machina as well.
So a little duo.
Yeah, and they both
that was a
worked
good
on
one too.
another film that I like, which has nothing to do. It's Free Fire.
What's that one?
It's more like
action one from last year. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's nothing to do with this type of film.
Man, I'm still. I can't wait. I'm gonna watch this afternoon. I've
Yeah.
got the afternoon cleared out to watch it again, and I'm really intrigued to read the book as well. I just
Same.
the tonality. There seems to be, it's not a one-to-one adaptation, but
very different ending from what I hear.
it's a thematic lifting of that book.
Ah, man. It's one of those films. It's like, at the end of so many like films that make you think. Like, what is it? What's the Inception? Like at the end of the Inception.
Yeah.
I was just like thinking about it for a while.
Yeah. But for me, I felt like Inception, and I love Inception. It's one of my faves. But Inception was almost like a hook, and this one didn't like end on a cliffhanger or anything. It was just like there was just so many ingredients, so many things to think about. It was a very dense piece.
Doesn't feel like a commercial film in any way, which the studio's right. Like, it doesn't feel like it was trying to attract any viewers. It doesn't feel like it's pandering to it. It feels like someone actually had something they wanted to make.
And I feel like if they had accepted that and maybe, it's an art film.
I don't think there's any world in which this was a successful movie. This is Blade Runner 2049, you know. It's just,
Yeah.
thankfully, they tricked a studio into making it.
Yeah, thank goodness, because it's just a pure joy for me, this film.
Yeah, this is why we have Transformers movies, so someone can make shit like this.
Yeah. Man, I think I've said
Yes.
a decent amount on this.
I can't talk anymore on it.
Yeah.
I'm still unpacking it, and I'm sure in a week, you know, we could have another conversation about it, and a whole other opinion and reading would take place. We've got our Tomb Raider review up. Yay!
Very different
Yay.
film.
So go check that out. And,
Also a dense masterpiece.
density.
Mm.
Billy, thanks so much for being here, man.
No worries.
Anything to plug for Geek of Oz?
So you can find me on Geek of Oz or on Facebook, Geek of Oz. I do another podcast which is called To Infinity War and Beyond. We cover the Marvel Cinematic films because we're watching it from the beginning all the way leading up to Infinity War.
Fun, man.
Yes.
Not far at all.
Not far.
All right, guys, hit that subscribe button. So we got more reviews coming at you. It's going to be a big summer. I tell you what, there's so many reviews coming up. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
We'll see you around soon. Thanks, Billy.
No worries.
Thanks, Benny.
See you guys.
Thanks, me.
Bye.